Hello guys, in today's video I will show you how to create a slider project using just HTML, CSS and JavaScript. As you can see, when I click on the buttons, the slides move, and most of the people I've seen they use something like jQuery or any other external library to create sliders. So I wanted to make a video where you create a slider using just pure vanilla JavaScript. So we will do it in two parts. First we will create something simple like this slider where we just move images, slides containing images, so that people who just want to learn how to create a slider, they can watch the first part and move on. But then in the second part we will convert this simple project into something like this, so that it looks like a review section of a fully functional website. So without wasting much time, let's get into it. First thing I'll do is create a new folder on my desktop, and I will name this as slider project. Then I'll open the folder with VS Code and create three files. First will be my HTML file, index.html. Then I will create a JavaScript file, app.js. Okay, this shouldn't be capital. App.js, I'm sorry. And then the third file will be for my style sheet. Okay, so let's just give some basic styling first. Margin should be 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box. What box sizing border box does is that it makes sure that whatever padding or margin you apply later, they are applied in the inside of the container, so that the size of the container doesn't increase. So, and you will see these 3 lines of code almost in all the project on the internet. These are some basic styling. And now I'll target my body tag and give a min height of 100 VH. That means the body should be minimum of 100% of the viewer screen size of the viewer. And then since I want all the content in the center, I will use display crate and place items center. Okay, so let's go to my HTML and create the boilerplate. I will give a title of slider project, and the first thing I'll do is link my CSS to my HTML file. Link, and then I will link my JavaScript file to my HTML file as well. So let's do that, app.js. Yeah, so now we can start coding, and the first thing I will do is create a container, I mean a div with a class of container. So in this container I will have 4 articles. If I show you the completed project, yeah, so as you can see in this review project we have 4 articles. So this whole block that you see is an article. If we see in this basic project, so yeah, this block, this blue background block is an article. So we need 4 of these. So let me just create a few comments, single article, and then end of article. So we will create an article and give that a class of review, and for the basic project we need an image, a random image for all of those. So in my browser I will search for random image link, and you can choose any of the options that the browser provides you, like there are multiple sources to get random images from internet. I will use the first one. So here is a link to generate random image. If you copy it and paste it in a new tab, see you get a random image, and every time you refresh, okay, so the image doesn't get changed, but we still won't use this URL because what it will do is give us the same image for all the articles, and we don't want that. We want different images for all four articles. So you can scroll down and find this part, advanced uses, and then here they tell you how to get multiple random images at once. So you eventually need to use this random query with the URL. So I will copy this whole tag and then paste it in my article. And since I need 4 more of these articles, like you can see right now, if I close this website and open my project with the live server, so right now I only have one image because we only have one article. So we need 4 more of these. I will copy and paste it 3 more times and then change the link to third image and then fourth image. And if I see my project, so yeah, you can see we have 4 random images here. So now I will create another div with a class of button container, and it will have 2 buttons. First we'll have a class of brief, and then second we'll have a class of next. I guess you already know what these buttons are for, and if you don't, let me tell you. So these are eventually these scroll, next, and previous buttons. If we see our project, here they are. Right now they obviously won't work because we haven't implemented JavaScript yet. But with this, I think my HTML file is complete and I can switch to styling JavaScript or styling my CSS. So let's go to our CSS, and the first thing I will do is target my container. I will give that width of 90%. That means 90 view width eventually means 90% of the width of the user's screen, and then max width should be 1170 pixel, so that the width, whatever the screen size is, width doesn't get more than 1170 pixel. And then I will use margin 0 and auto to make it centrally aligned. I will give a border radius of 0.5 rem, and then I will put some more styling, but I will have to explain why I'm putting those things. So I put a comment. So first thing is border solid and color should be black. Then height is 25 rem. Position relative and overflow hidden. So these are all the styling I have to put in my container. So now let's target our review class. And if we see our project right now, you can see, so let me just explain why I put all these things. So if I comment out overflow hidden, So you can see this is our container and our images are flowing out of our container. So we do not want that, so we have overflow hidden. But right now I'll keep it as commented only. It will make sense. It will be more clear why we are doing things. And then height 25 rem. Okay, so since we have position relative on the container, we would do position absolute on a review. So what position absolute does is that all of our images, all four of them, are right now stacked on top of each other. And if we don't give a certain height to our container, you can see. So the images have a certain height, but our container doesn't. And since all of the images are on top of each other, they are flowing out of the container. And if we right now uncomment overflow hidden, you will see that images are not visible. So whenever we are using position relative and position absolute, we must put a height for our container. So as you can see, we have all four of our images on top of each other. And why we have border is like, if I comment it out, you really can't see where our container starts and where it ends. So just for the explaining purposes, I have a border of 5 pixel. So it will make more sense. Okay. So after position absolute, I will give this a width of 100% for all of our reviews and a height of 100% as well. And if we see, so nothing changes. Okay, then we give this a display grid and place items center. Again what we did with the body tag, we are making the content come in center like this. Yeah, so right now we have all four of our images here on the blue part, but we can only see one because the fourth one is right now on top of them. So let me give this a background color of 2B4057, which is a shade of dark blue. So okay, this is our review right now. Okay, so now that we have our basic setup ready, what I want to do is move these four images side by side. Like for the slider, I want these adjacent to each other, right? But right now they are overlapping on each other. So let's move them side by side using CSS. So I will target the review and use the pseudo selector and child and target the first article. Left 0, and just like that I will do it for the remaining three articles. Number 2, number 3 and number 4. So let's first do it for number 2, and what I want to do is move it 100% from the left. So right now you cannot see it, but wait, let me just uncomment overflow hidden, and if I refresh, okay, now you can see that the second image has moved 100% from the left, and for the third one we will do it 200% because we want it further away from the left. And if you see, third image has moved 200% from left. So the first image is here because we have only we didn't move it, only it's 0%, and second image is here, third one is here, fourth one is still overlapped on the first one. So currently the one you're seeing is the fourth one, and we will move it by 300%, so it goes at the very end. Right guys, so this is the structure we have right now, and what I want to do is, like, how the slider works is we will move the required article to the left by 100%. And how we will do that? We will use transform property and move it 100%. Now we are using negative because we want to move it in the left direction, that is opposite direction. So as you can see, when I applied 100% negative, all the slides moved and moved one position to the left. If I do it as 200%, or let's do it 300%, so all the slides will move 300% to the left. That's why the last one is now in the center, because first we moved it to the right 300% and now we moved everything to the left. So what we want to do is implement this part using JavaScript and not CSS, because we want it to be dynamic, like when we click on the buttons only then it should work, right? So let's go to the app.js. The first thing I want to do is get all the elements I will use. So first one is all the articles. With class review, I will use document dot query selector all and target the class review. Next, I'll get the previous button by using query selector, not all, only query selector, and target the class previous. Similarly, I will get the next button same way. Only difference is the class. Here we will use the next class. Right, so we got the elements, and now I will create a variable which will store the index value of the articles we have. Like right now, using query selector all, we are getting a node list which is similar to an array but not an array. So we have 4 items in our node list right now. If I log the reviews, and if you see, we have a node list of 4 items, and each of those 4 items have index, right, and starting from 0. So the count variable will store the index of the article which is being displayed at the front. Right now we have the first article, so the index is 0. When we will have the second article in front, index will be 1. Hope that makes sense. So what I want to do is add an event listener to my next and previous button, so that when we click them, our count variable changes value. So when we click next button, that means when we move to the second slide, we want to increase the count, right? And when we click on the previous button, we want to reduce the count. For example, if we are on the second slide, we have count as 1, and then we click previous and we want the count to be 0. So let's do that. So when we click on the next button, we want count to be increased by 1, and we want to do the same for the previous button. Only difference will be that instead of increasing, we want it to decrease. And then I will create a function which will implement the slider. So let's name this function as slider. This will be an arrow function. You can create a normal function if you want. And what this function will do is it will loop over all my items in the node list using for each, and for every single item, what do we want to do? We want to do this part, right, for every single item. So let's do this by JavaScript. So we will select the item and then style property, which will let us implement CSS in JavaScript, and we will use transform, and the value will be, we will put the value in template literal because we want to put a variable inside a string. So it will be translate x minus. Remember, we are putting minus because we want to move in the left direction. And what should be the value? Let's see. I will put my count variable here, multiplied by 100 percentage. So let's understand the logic here. Initially, when I'm on the first article, our count is what? 0. So we will move by 0 into 100, 0%. That means we won't move at all. For the second slide, okay, let me just simply call the function for the button. That way it will be easier to explain. So, right, so for the second button, what's happening right now? Now, for the second article, we want to move all the articles by 100%, right, to the left. So for the second article, my count is 1. And why is it 1? If I refresh, so initially my count was 0, and on clicking the next button, my count increases by 1. So right now my count is 1. And so the reviews move 1 into 100 by 100%. Then when I click on the next button again, my count increases again, it becomes 2, and by this function 2 into 100, all the slides move by 200%. Hope it made sense. And similarly for the previous button, if we see, right now what our count is 2. If I click previous, our count becomes 1, and all the slides move by 1%, 100% only, because 1 into 100. Now, one thing to note here is that eventually we will run out of our articles. So let's see, here our count was 0, then became 1, became 2, became 3. Now when count becomes 4, we don't have an element to display, right? Because we only had 4. So what we want to do is make the count, reset the count to 0 when it reaches 4. So how we will do that? In the next button, we will add an if statement, that if count equals to reviews dot length. Right now review has a length of 4. If there were 5 items, the count will reset when it reaches 5. So if count is equal to reviews dot length, we want to reset it to 0. So let's see, count is 1, count is 2, count is 3. Now instantly when count reaches 4, it will be reset to 0. So you see, count was 4 and it was reset to 0, and the slider starts again. Similarly for the previous button, right now nothing happens, because initially our count is 0, right? And when we click previous, count goes negative. We don't want it to negative, right? We don't want it to be negative. So we will implement an if statement again, which will say if count for some reason goes negative, we want the slider to go back to the last position. And how will we get the index of last position? We will set count equal to reviews dot length minus 1. Remember, reviews dot length, at reviews dot length we don't have an article, so we need to reduce it by 1. So now if we see, we are at the end. When I click next, we move back, and now when I click previous, we move at the end. Now the only thing I want to do is implement overflow hidden so that these extra articles are not shown. So let's uncomment this out. And now if you see, our slider is perfectly working. Okay guys, so technically the project is complete, but here I wanna add a few additional things. just to make it a bit more advanced, right? So right now we have our slider working fine, as you can see. But what I want to do right now is add a set interval function to make the slide, to make them auto slide. And how we will do this? First I will select set interval, and what set interval takes is a callback function like this one, and the time, the interval after which the function needs to be repeated. So I will make this as 4 seconds. And now let's think about it, what we have to put inside this function. So to make them auto slide, what do we want to do? We want them to do this part, sliding, on their own. So basically the function that is being performed on clicking the next button should be done after 4 seconds automatically. So I will just go above and copy the callback function from the next button event listener and then paste it here. Now it's always said that you should not repeat your code. Like if you have similar code on two places, you should create a separate function and then call the function on both of those places. But in our case, we just have like what, 3-4 lines of code, so I think copy and pasting will do that fine. So now let's try it. I will refresh the page. As you could see, it was already working. So yeah, auto slide works just fine. So now if you want, you can stop just right here, but I would go ahead and convert this project into something like this. So it looks like a review section of a website, right? A fully functional review section. And additionally, it would take just 10 to 12 more minutes, so I would suggest that you hang on and create this from this with me. Okay guys, let's see you in the next part. Okay, now so the first thing I will do is move to my desktop, and in the slider project folder I will create another folder and I will name this as images. And in this images folder I will paste 4 images that I copied, and these 4 are the ones that I'm using in this complete project. So I will want to use the same ones. So now I will move back to my project, and the first thing I will do is delete the 3 articles that I have, because I will want to create the articles from scratch again. And for the article I will use the image that I have locally stored, and then I put the alternative as image, and then after image I would put a paragraph of 20 words. Then I would put name, and then a designation in H3. So let's put web developer, and this is our article, right? If we see, yeah. So we will fix everything by CSS. Right now we cannot slide because we only have one article, and if I copy paste it 3 more times, 1, 2, 3, and save it, I will change the images, image 4, image 3, image 2. So we have the basic structure for our reviews. These are the 4 images, right? And another thing that I would like to do is give it a heading. I will use an h1 and use the HTML entity here and hashtag 8220 and then give the heading as testimonials. So the HTML entity was this. Now we can close the JavaScript file because we do not need to do anything, and we can also close the HTML file as well because right now all we have to work with is our CSS. So the first thing I will do is give body a background color of gray. So the color code will be 505050. If we say it, this is what it looks like, a bit similar to this, right? And then in the container we will change max width to 768 pixel, a bit smaller, and then height will remain the same, everything else will remain the same, border radius, and we will delete the border because we did not need that, we just needed that to explain how things were working. And I will add a box shadow 5 pixel 15 pixel, and we will use a dark box shadow. 0.2 is enough, I guess. So if I see it now, yeah, looks similar to this one, right? Still we have to fix a lot of things, but yeah, we're getting there. And then for the review, let me see, position absolute is okay, background is okay. Let me just give a padding of 1 rem. I guess all other things are okay. And then we need to apply a bit more styling, and we will do it here at the bottom. So I will target my h1 and give it a color of orange red. If you remember, h1 is the testimonial heading. Latest spacing will be 2 pixel and font size will be 3. Okay, I messed up. Font size will be 3 rem. Yeah. And then I will target the image. Let me just see our project. Yeah, it looks good. Then I will target the image inside the review. I will give it a border radius of 50%, which will convert it in an oval shape. Let me just specify the height and width first. Height will be 12 rem and width will be 18 rem. So if we see our image right now, okay, so looks a lot similar to this. We just have to implement a few more things. So after image, I will like to style my heading 2, which is the name of the person, and I will just give this a color of green, some shade of green, I don't know. I had this color code saved from another project. Then I will target the h3, which is the designation of the person, and I will give it a color of white. Then I will target my paragraph, and again I will give this a color of white. And then max width for the paragraph will be 25 rem. I want everything to be in the center, so margin 0 auto, and also text align should be center. So if I see it, yeah, looks a lot similar to this. The only thing left, I guess, is this border and these two buttons. So let's go back and go to our image to give the border. I keep on getting these messages. I will give it a border of 2 pixel solid, the same green color that I have below. I will also give this as an object width cover, so if the image size messes up for some reason, it will still look nice. And we need this gap between the border and the image, and we will do this by using padding 0.2 rem. So if I see it now, yeah, looks better. I guess the padding is a bit more than I wanted it to be, so let's keep it as 1. Alright, and for the paragraph, let's go for a little bit gray so that there is difference between web developer and the paragraph. So yeah, the only thing right now left is to style these buttons, and we have text here and HTML entity here, so let me just correct that, or I think this looks good. I just need to capitalize this, and I guess previous and next work just fine. So let me just style them. I will target the button, give them a padding of 0.5 rem, background color of the green I used, and the color will be the blue I used. So yeah, I think our project is ready, and if I see is it responsive or not, it should be right. Yep, as you can see, it's responsible for all the sizes. Okay, and yeah, this array doesn't mean anything. And our project, okay, I think I was checking the wrong one, sorry. I have to check this one, and yeah, this one is responsive too. So yeah, our project is ready, and if you stayed for this long, I thank you so much, and let's meet again in the next video. Thank you for watching. Also guys, if you are new to the channel, I will make more such videos. I will create project, I will create tutorials, and I will create whatever I can to help the people around me. So it would mean a lot if you subscribe, and thank you for watching. It means a lot.